Welcome back to Making Space for Love. This is episode 4, and I think we're going to talk about dating apps today.
That feels right. I mean, it seems to be the discussion everywhere.
It's you never had to do it.
It's I mean, maybe back in the day, but not the modern with the apps and all this stuff going on. So I think it's just this makes sense for us to talk about because I think it brings up a lot in people. Is dating smooth and easy these days? And are the
No,
apps
like
like easy to use and fun, or what's
dating
the?
in 2026 is like, I mean, everyone talks about it. It's like, man, I like that these dating apps are a necessary evil,
Yeah.
right?
Tell me about it. Walk me through it. Like what's the experience like, or what's it like?
So you choose whatever app you want on your phone, right? And then you go through the profile and they're all kind of the same. It's like a combination of like you choose some photos that you want, you choose you have to write a little something about you, like what your
Okay.
interests are. And then a lot of them now like you check off interests like
Okay.
photography, surfing, hiking, travel, cooking, whatever else. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean they're expansive. um, some of them will give you prompts,
Okay.
like I'm looking for someone who wants what, or my green flags are this, my red flags are this,
Oh,
and some of
okay.
them get playful, like
Okay.
um,
Nice. Okay.
one of my favorite ones is like if I could invite anyone to dinner, dead or alive, it would be this person and why,
Okay.
right? Like
Okay.
that's kind of a fun one. Um, and then once you have your profile set, then they just put people in front of you and
This is when you're just swiping, right?
you're just swiping.
You're just
Yeah, you're
fucking
like
swiping.
yes or no, and um, it's like a frustrating experience. Like in some places where I've been, there's just not a lot of people. Like in Oregon, like in Bend, like
Okay.
there's just not a lot of people. And like you do like you know a few swipes in a few minutes, and like you're out of people.
You're
And then
out
you
of
got to
people.
expand your
Got it. Okay.
mile radius or whatever, right? Um, but I feel like those things that I just described, none of that is, oh my gosh, this is too much for me to handle, right? Like
Yeah.
you're just inputting stuff. I think that there's there's a couple things that are tricky. One, how do you say something so that somebody reads it and gets a good sense of who you are?
Mm.
Um, how do you know that whoever you're looking at on the screen is what who they say they are,
Yeah. Right.
looks like currently like whatever photo they have up,
Right. Okay. All those things.
and then just is going to be a match. And right, like I guess, so you take it back to like if you were just going to go out, you're going out somewhere, you meet somebody in
Sure.
a restaurant or a club or a grocery store, wherever you're going to meet somebody. I guess that, well, one, you would know that's who they are, right?
Yeah.
You're
It's
like
a real
standing,
person in
you're
front of you.
standing right in front of them. But you don't know them, right? And I've caught myself, like I've literally caught myself like seeing somebody that I see repeatedly in a certain situation and
On an
just being
app or in person?
in
In
person.
person. Okay.
I've caught myself like seeing someone
Ah.
that I see repeatedly in a certain situation and like having very surface level conversations with them, but at
Yeah.
the end
Yeah.
of the day, like knowing like I feel an attraction towards this person,
Okay. Yeah.
but like I don't know them. Like
You
what?
don't know.
So I like
Mm.
last week I was like, what am I actually attracted to in this person? Like I know nothing about them.
But you felt an attraction, right? Like something inside of you was like, was it like an energetic thing, or you think like a visual, just like this person looks a certain way?
I mean, like they're definitely attractive.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Okay.
there's an attraction there, and they're very nice and they seem
Yeah.
kind, but like I know nothing about their life. I don't know, you know,
Is have we
what they're
lost the
into.
because you go, I'm just thinking right now, just okay, dating apps, they tell you everything about their life, but really you don't know a fucking thing. That's just someone wrote a description about it. Then you meet someone in person and you like, I know nothing about them, but yet I feel an attraction. what if we just got into the mystery of like, I don't need to know anything about them. And I just got into like, I'm just going to go say hello to this person in person.
That's scary as shit because it's
So,
the
okay.
unknown,
Well,
right?
here's where we go.
So,
Go. Okay, go.
well, like I know exactly what you're gonna say, but like as soon as you started saying that, I'm like, fuck, like could you imagine just like going into a date, choosing someone from a an app and be like, I don't know anything about you, or I'm not gonna pretend that anything that you wrote is real, and we're just gonna find this out. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you you want, or I do, want so much certain. Like there's
So much
when
certainty.
so much certainty when you're on one of those apps. Like there's so much uncertainty, and even if somebody, or like even if somebody says, I almost feel like the apps cheat you in a way in getting to know somebody because they put a preconceived notion in your mind about what that person is going to be like,
Yeah.
right? So you read whatever they wrote, right? And so they are telling you about them, and maybe they're telling you from a genuine place of honesty, and maybe they're trying to inflate themselves, and maybe they're just trying to, you know, do whatever.
Yeah.
You have no idea, but whatever you read, you then, and not only whatever you read, and then however you internalize
Yeah.
what you read, you now then have a preconceived notion, and you
Jesus.
start building stories in your head about what this person's gonna be like. Oh gosh, I hope that
God
this is
damn.
like. I
You
hope
got
that
me
this is
fucking
like.
lost thinking
Right?
about
Like,
this. So I'm
so
like, I'm lost
think
already.
about that shit. And
Jesus.
so then when you finally meet them in person,
Jesus.
it's there's like all this stuff built up, and I think that
Oh my
people can get
God.
into the trap of like, you know, being let down because whatever story they built up in their head about this person, certain things aren't true and certain things are true.
Mm.
But on the flip side, I'll also say that at least what I've noticed is like some people's photos and what they how they think they look.
Yeah.
I met people when I like meet them in person. I'm like, you look like your photo, but like I think you're so much more beautiful,
Mm.
and you just chose photos that you know, I see you differently maybe than you see yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what the apps don't do, like if you're at a restaurant or you're just in person, right? When you meet this person, they're moving, they're talking,
Yeah.
they're smiling, they're laughing, they're doing stuff with their friends. They're like, you get to see how they move through the world a little bit.
Yeah.
And when you're just looking at a static photo, like you don't get to see all that. And I think when you see their energy of how they move and stuff, like there's definitely
There you go.
that can either enhance the attraction or be like, nah, I don't
Yeah.
really like that's not my thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's just it's like it just
Ooh,
yeah,
it's a lot.
it is a lot.
I mean, it makes sense when I think of like, these big apps or social media. It's like, oh, this is how you connect with people. You know, you'll see people with like thousands of followers but have no connection with any of them. And I'm like, to me, it's everything but the connection is what it seems like. I think you said something super interesting, which it's like, I don't want to be, I want to know everything I can about this person. So we're trying to like prevent like this thing from not happening. And it's like we've taken away the whole mystery of the whole thing. And then like you could get around someone in person and you feel your heart being like, yes. And then you're like, yeah, but I don't even know this person. So what if we just embrace the not knowing and we were like, okay, dating is this is just like world class athletes. Like a world class athlete performs in a moment, they don't know if they're going to win or lose. That's the truth. And so they throw themselves into it and they go into the mystery. And the beauty is, yes, you're going to have the thrill of victory sometimes, the fucking agony of goddamn defeat. But no matter what, you threw yourself in the dance. Like, no matter what, you were in the dance. So your energy gets unlocked. And yes, some of it's the thrill of winning, agony of defeat. Like, I feel an attraction to this person. I'm going to say hello. What's on the line? The thrill of victory, the fucking agony of defeat is on the line, right? But that mystery, why am I attracted to you?
So I think it like I get what you're saying as you talk about this, but I think in the terms of like dating apps and like because there's uncertainty, there's so much uncertainty in so many different areas. It's like um
Yeah.
right, like if you're a track athlete, right? Like going into a dating app, like going on a date with someone from a dating app the first time you
Yeah.
ever meet them, like if you're a 100-meter sprinter, like you're going to it like, oh, I'm going to race the 100-meter sprint, right? And then you like there's this
See the story popping up?
right, there's this terrifying thing though that like when I get there, if they are not what they say, it's like, well, I thought I came to run the 100 meters and now I'm in like now I'm like running like the 400 hurdles, right? And you're
Totally.
like, you're just so it's like someone signed you up for something you didn't want to sign up for. And so
Totally.
then you're stuck in this situation that's like they're clearly not for me. They're not who they said they were and like I don't know. I always like sit through the date or do whatever, but I'm sure there's people that are just like, no, and they just walk out and turn around. But I don't have the heart to do that to people.
Okay, so this is like a lot of this. It's not like, okay, I identified the one person. There it is. Bingo, we're married, set for life. Like, that's not it,
No,
right? So,
well, that's not how I do it.
or it seems to be like we've got to get good at basically things not working. You know what I mean? Like that, or at least
Right.
that's what it like when I think back to like, okay, this isn't about perfection. I've got to find the right one person, make sure it works, and it's got to be the one. It's like, what if we went into it with like, we don't know, we're going to explore a little bit, and we recognize that clearly, if I'm on an app inputting my own thing, like me and you 3 months ago, you would have inputted something different than now because you're more aware of yourself. They don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know, is what it seems like, you know.
It's
And
it's crazy. So we've been talking about maybe doing this episode for a little while, doing something around dating apps. I think we mentioned it maybe on the last
yeah,
show or something like that. And I would actually really like the opportunity for us to partner with a dating app, or at least have someone from a
yeah,
dating app that works there come on the show and kind of talk to us about
hell yeah.
that side of it, like how like from that side. So I've been doing a little bit of research on different profiles just to see like
Yeah.
what are people out there, what are they looking for, what are they like, what do they say in their profiles. And there's like three main things that I see on women's profiles.
Okay.
One is stop lying about your height for guys,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And I've heard that from
Stop lying.
women friends that I have. It's like
Okay.
they're like, yeah, like they'll say they're like 6 feet tall and they show up they're like 5'8", right?
Right. Okay. Right.
Um,
Okay.
so just stop lying about your height. Uh, don't just be mad at your girlfriend. Be actually single,
Wow.
right?
Damn. Yeah.
Uh, and the third one is be emotionally available.
Mm.
That is one I see so
Wow.
much. It's like,
Are
please
you
be
available?
emotionally
Are
available.
you
Like,
available?
and I would say like, I've been on dating apps in different
Okay.
parts of my life, but I would say like, years ago, like you didn't see that as
Mm.
much.
Dude, that's massive. They say the greatest skill for athletes is being available. Like, are you available to perform tonight? And I think like, I mean, shit's the name of our show, Making Space for Love. To be available for this, I wonder, being emotionally available. I'm thinking about like, be real with your height, be emotionally available, and don't just be like cheating or be mad at your girlfriend and you're out here. All of these require vulnerability. Like, so I think about again, we got the victory to the vulnerable belt, right? I just bring this belt out because I'm like, is this not the sexiest shit of all time? I'm just keeping it real. It's not being willing to be vulnerable, but still show up, not victimize yourself and be helped, but like I'm vulnerable and I'm still here. And I'm emotional. Because what happens when you're emotionally available? You can get hurt. Because you're like, I'm available, right? So you're like technically, if I'm available for this lady, yeah, she can sting my heart. So maybe I'll shut it down. But a willingness, we had this on, we put this on Cherry last week. I hope you like that. But like this belt is massive. Like, okay, how would you express that? Like I'm trying to think about on an app. Like how would you? Because like this is required, right? You know how
It
like,
is required. Are you saying how would you express it on the app,
well, I'm
like
just
from the
wondering.
app's
Yeah,
point of view, or if you're a person signed up for
I'm
the
just
app?
thinking of a girl being like, I would like you to be emotionally available. Like you can't say like I'm emotionally available. I don't know if that sentence would convey. I wonder if there's a way to like show that.
Oh, from a dude's point
Yeah, just like on
perspective?
your profile. Like, I mean, I put victory to the vulnerable. And I like to say is, dude, I'm willingly going to the vulnerable space.
You say people like I have on mine, I think it says like um I don't know if it's emotional awareness or emotional intelligence or something, but like I have, you know what, I can tell you
This is actually a really good one.
in real time. I can tell you.
Okay.
Maybe we'll screenshot this and put it up there, but maybe
Yeah.
we won't. I don't know.
see, see.
We'll see.
Okay.
Uh,
So just, I mean, authentic. Like, what would be the fear? I'm too short. Or whatever it is. You're like, let me just live in this space and be real.
so I just put like, here's mine. It just says high EQ with a little brain emoji.
Okay. I like that. I wonder, do people say on like stuff like I'm currently working on myself, or like how is that? You know how people are like I like to go hiking. So
I'll
someone
find
else is
some.
like,
Let's
hey,
see if
I
we can
like to
find
hike
some.
too. So maybe you bond. If you're like, I'm like working on myself. Is that something that people share? Like I'd be like, okay, Joey, if you're working on yourself and you're looking to date someone and they're not working on themselves, or like, or would they be available for you? Is that someone
I think
that's
people
available?
say I see what I see more often is um, I've done something like someone will say like I've done the work. I'm hoping you have too.
Okay, okay, okay.
Um,
That sounds like
and
someone who's at least aware of I'm trying to be available.
you could
Like,
put self awareness is sexy.
I think self awareness is
Self
sexy.
awareness is sexy. That's a
Fire
T-shirt
fire
right
that one
there,
off, man. Self awareness is sexy. It is.
right?
I talk to my wife every day about what we're doing. She goes, yes, this is sexy. Like being able to work on yourself, being self aware, being emotionally available. And look, I'm nobody, but I can't tell you the amount of women I've coached who've been like, do you have any friends? Or do you have, and what they're really saying is, holy shit, like the stuff we're talking about, being available, being vulnerable, all this is yes. And this is the key to this. Like, this is what I've noticed. Okay, if there's anyone listening who are going, man, it sounds a little soft, or this sounds like, I don't know. Within the space of fucking being vulnerable, within that space of opening yourself up, to me, it's the most warrior you'll ever experience in your life.
Well, I think
It's you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
actually the most badass shit. It's not soft at all. It'll require more courage, more fucking real warriorness in you to show up and be in that space, as opposed to I'm totally protected to make sure I don't go into any unknown. And what's up with this person over here? Why aren't they fucking with me? I'm like, you're in a fortress of non-available shit. You know?
We've talked about this before, right? So and this is from a male perspective. So I don't have a female brain. I don't know exactly what women want clearly.
It's
Um,
okay.
but
We're all learning.
this is my interpretation of what I hear. I'm gonna preface it with that.
Yeah.
That is my legal disclaimer.
It's okay.
So like right, I've shared somebody in my past is like I need somebody a little bit more masculine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And but then there's also women that are like, I want someone who's emotionally available, right? And so where is that? I think it's there's they don't maybe women are confused or
It's
say
a
that
good
it's because like
question.
men are confused. We're all let's just say we're all confused
It's
about
a great start.
what is the balance, right? Because you don't want that like we talked about last time what people typically think of as someone who considers themselves alpha because like they really are just trying to control things because they can't control themselves. But on the other hand, I could see a woman not wanting some guy who like just wants to talk about feelings all the time,
Sure.
right? Like that
Sure.
can be exhausting and maybe a little intimidating or whatever. So it's like it's okay to have emotional awareness and emotional intelligence, but like you're not going to go to the bar and turn happy hour into a therapy session, right? Like
No.
you're just going to be solid, like enough emotional awareness so that when things come up inside you, you can sit with those and internalize them and deal with themselves in real time without affecting the person on the other side of the table from
Bingo.
you. And then when you find your partner, you're able to have those conversations where you're saying, this is what came up for me, but I'm not going to make you responsible for that. And then they can choose how to care for you and you can share with them how you need to be cared for in those moments.
Ooh, what you just said. Yeah. I mean, 100% on it. This isn't just dump all your feelings and just pour out on someone. This is in that moment, like you said, you're sitting with someone, you feel all your shit come up. Like block off, close it down, don't let it like protect. And the emotional availability, here's the badass part, is you don't do that. is you go, no, I'm gonna stay open in this moment. You don't say out loud, I'm staying open to be. You just fucking do it. You don't say it. You just this is the warrior shit. Bad as a motherfucker in this moment. You're sitting there because everything you feel like death is coming, and you're like, I'm just gonna open my heart. I'm gonna be available. That's it. And from the outside, she's or whoever you're talking to is just like, this person's present with me. You're not saying anything. This isn't like venting. That's the warrior moment in that moment. Your heart is open, the emotionally available, and the masculine part is you hold that motherfucker open like a fucking savage, like a fight for your life. This is where it's masculine. It's like a fight. I will not shut my fucking heart down. I might get stung right now. If I get stung, I'm going to make my reads. Maybe this is not the right person to date. No problem. Thank you for me growing, but I'm going to learn to keep this fucker open. That's the warrior part. To me, that is extremely fucking masculine. Like, you want to fight? We got to fight for you. Fight to keep your fucking heart open and shut your fucking mouth and listen to this person talking to you. Shut your mouth. I'll say it again. Because you're going to want to talk because you're scared. Don't do it. Win the fight. Breathe. Make space. Oh. And then, like you said, like later on, maybe we talk about, hey, this is what comes up for me when I'm around you. Boy, thanks for letting that come up for me. I'm really doing a lot of work on myself. Well, you just owned all your shit. You just made a space after you won the fight. So I think like it's always a combination of all of this. When I think feminine and masculine, I think energies. I don't think male, female. It's not a body type. Within all of us is both energies. Which one do you want to use? How do you want to use it? So the feminine might be, hey, I'm going to open myself up. Most courageous shit in the world. And the masculine might be, stay the fuck open while I want to collapse. I'm going to try to keep it open. Or maybe that's the feminine. Maybe the feminine. I don't know.
I
But
think,
like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about conversations I've had with people in the last few months. I think when maybe what some people mean when they say that they want somebody more masculine or somebody is like they're really just looking for confidence, right? Because
Okay.
what you're talking about is when you have the skills to sit with those things inside of you and share them in a way that doesn't put pressure on somebody else.
Yeah.
I found in like I am so much more confident than I was a month ago, 2 months
Yeah.
ago, 3 months ago right now, especially when hard conversations come up in relationships.
Yeah. Mm.
Because
Mm.
what I've noticed, one of the things that really bothers me in relationships is when somebody else tries to tell my story, right?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
they decide that they know how I feel,
Yeah. Okay.
right? And so they say, well, you this or you that or whatever. And
Mm.
one of the things I try to do is listen, is in relationships is say, I'm responsible for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? If somebody else wants feedback, if they ask for it, I will give it to them. If there are
Yeah.
certain situations where I care about somebody enough, I will say, can I give you some feedback on that, right?
Mm.
But it is not my job to decide how you should be acting or behaving or whatever. You act, you
Yeah.
behave, you do whatever you want, and I'll decide whether that's within the boundaries of what I feel is acceptable for my life, right?
Spot on, man.
And what I found lately in the last month or so is when difficult conversations have come up, like talking to someone that I've been on some dates with, they're like, oh, I'm not sure if you're like, they'll say to me, like, I'm not sure if you're feeling me anymore or this or that. Like,
Yeah.
I'll literally say, like, I'm doing this intentionally. I'm taking things slow, not because I'm disinterested, but because I care about the process. I want to do this right. And like, I've rushed in the past,
Mm.
I've missed things before, and I'm not willing to do that again. Right. So, like, where you, and I, like, this is the conversation I have in my brain. I do not have this conversation with them. But in my brain, I'm really thinking, like, you have a pattern of when things are slower or things happen like this, that the person is not interested,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I'm doing things a certain way and you had a feeling about that doesn't mean that how you felt about it is how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Totally.
And what I've found is when I stand up for myself in those moments and I say kindly and keeping it within myself, like, hey, feel like maybe there's a story being told about how I feel in this moment
Yeah.
when I wasn't asked,
Oh.
and then I kind of get into that. The response is like, I mean, honestly, it's kind of like, oh, like that was sexy. Like there was confidence there. He stood up for
Self-awareness is
himself,
sexy, man.
right? So I don't know, but I don't know how. Like, how do we translate this into like the dating app game where you like we're talking about this uncertainty? How do right? Like I don't use me. We've been using me.
Yeah, yeah.
How do I write a profile that's accurate, attracts what I want to attract, and just kind of lets people like how do I write a profile that shows that confidence, right? That
Mm,
quiet confidence that is what it is because I'm going to live it when I show up.
yeah. Yeah, 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 for sure. Man, that's a really good question. Well, I think it probably starts with some level of vulnerability and keeping it. I wish you could on these apps. Can you do video recordings or like can you talk through it or is it all just
Maybe
typed? Is it
I don't
like
know.
just
We'll check
typed
it out.
out?
Most of it's typed. I feel like I've seen videos before,
That's so. I mean,
and I also feel like
that could be a way.
so. One of the things that I do. Let me see if this let me do a video recording. One
And
of the things
is
that
the
I
I was just gonna say like with all the apps, is this is just me being is this low key?
oh photos and videos. At
Okay,
least on this
so
one,
you could do videos
you
maybe.
can. I don't.
Because
Yeah,
that could be a way to be
that's one way to
authentic. You
do
can
it,
read
right?
someone a little more. Sometimes in type or print, I know I have a tough time reading people because I'm like it's just typed, and then you go in your head of stories. But if you see a video, perhaps it's like you can maybe make a somewhat connection. I can't help but throw this out there. When you're in person with someone, you get an intuitive sense quickly, right? When you were like, oh,
Right.
the other day I saw this person. You felt like there was a different language being spoke. It wasn't intellectual. You didn't see any typed words or anything like that. And it wasn't like it's every pretty girl. It was like this one spoke to you for some reason. Spoke to you, right? You felt something. I would say your deepest intelligence is talking to you in that moment, saying, "Go," like, or perhaps if you're thinking like, what if you are the app, dog? Like, what if your app already knows who you're supposed to connect to? And the scary thing is, Jesus Christ, it's real fucking time. There's real people. I might get rejected. So the fuck what? Because if your app is already talking to you and it speaks to you, it goes bing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bing, you bing. If you're following that intelligence, which your intellect is not gonna want it. Your intellect is like, I don't know them. How am I? All these things. That's okay. How the fuck did it know to go say hello? It's okay. We won't know the answer to that. It's there. And so for me, what I think about is, man, like you are the app when you're moving around. Because people ask me, they'll say shit like this, like, Graham, where's a good place to meet women or boys? And I'll be like, you think there's like a geographical location you go to? I'm serious. Like, you think there's like some geograph? Bro, you are the technology. Make space your own self. Turn your technology on. And then move through the universe and listen to it. So it could be Trader Joe's. Uh, it could be anywhere. Now the fear is like people. I know there's all this like go shoot your shot. When I hear like go shoot your shot, what I'm hearing is you're like you want to get married, and like you're just like a panic about an outcome. One thing that comes to me is I hear this thing talking to me. I'm gonna go listen to it. Okay, it wants me to go say something here. I'm just gonna say hello. It told me and you to go out on the streets of San Francisco a month ago, to go like talk. Every part of me was like, no, 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 like fucking terrified. This is a hustle. I told my wife about it. We're from San Francisco. She was like, that's an absolute no. And I was like, yeah, but we had like that. It was required for us to do it. And multiple people walked up to
Mm-hmm.
us, all different walks of life, and I'm like, holy shit. I was terrified as fuck. Yet my heart was like, yeah, yeah, go do it. Like I knew to go do it, but a big part of me was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm from this. You're not even from here. I have to fucking deal with like, that's what was coming. All my stories, right? None of those occurred at all.
So the funniest part, and we talked about this, the funniest
Like none
part
of
to
that shit
me is
happened.
when, like, you just told me, I don't know, last week that you were terrified to do that.
Yeah.
Like what's funny is like I see you as having so much confidence, and like in that moment for me, I was like, absolutely, we're gonna. I had no fear
Dude, this
of
is
going to do
important.
that.
So
Like
I felt
no
fear.
fear.
I felt fear. But did I do it?
Yeah.
I showed the fuck up, right? So victory to vulnerable is real. My deepest intelligence was like, you got to go do it, man. My shallow intelligence was like, fuck no, fuck Joey. I was like, I'm gonna hide.
I gotta tell you this. So we show up, and I'm not trying to embarrass
No,
you at this
embarrassed. I
moment,
don't give a fuck.
but we show up and we're there for like 40 minutes, and like no one's coming up, and like Graham's like pacing back and forth, and like he like at one point he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and he like walks away, and he's like, the sun's too hot, like I gotta get out of the sun. What if we go on the backside of this building? I'm like, we're on the like the main road of the Embarcadero. Like there's so many people walking by. We go on the backside. We're like, no one's gonna come and talk to us. It was like it just got kept in my mind. Like, all right, I just got to keep him here for like 30 more minutes. But it was interesting to see
And then
you
everyone
stress.
showed up. None of my stories were real. That was like, that's victory to the vulnerable. That's I felt more freedom after that, because the deep intelligence told me to come. Big part of me was like, I don't want to do any of this. We did it. And so I think like I think most people don't want to get rejected, man. You go on a dating app, you try to eliminate all these things so I can just find the right person, make sure they're the right person, so I don't have to deal with all this other shit. Let's just start dealing with the other shit. Like, let's say no, I actually can deal with the other shit, and I'm gonna be okay with that, because I think if you don't listen to your technology, this thing that's talking to you, now that you're opening your heart up more, it's going to fucking talk to you, and it's gonna be like right there, and you just go, okay. Probably all your stories come up. What's gonna happen? Like, okay, and then you just go do it. And to me, I think that like now we're doing the real work, and then the dating app is a support of all this. So it's not like one or the other. It's like I think everything could be beneficial to each other.
Oh, that's a
But ultimately, don't you have to be with a person? Isn't the dating app like all these things, and
you
then
do.
here we are together? And that scale of being like, I got to open up, I got to actually be here. That's like there's two things going on. I don't think there's anything wrong with like calculating where you like. Okay, here's a person who might be interested in the same stuff as me. Makes sense. You live around me. Like good
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like you're not like in another country where we can't even hang out ever. Like so that makes sense. Seems like that should lead to like now let's go,
Let's do something. And I think
but be open to, but like there's no joke. Not trying to not get rejected, make sure it's okay. Be like, no, I'm actually okay
it
with it.
doesn't
I,
matter,
I, I
right?
want to go into the unknown. Like I want to learn to go into that space, and then keep listening to this thing as you're going into space. Your heart is open. Your navigation system is either going to be like yes, or it's going to say no.
So I think in the dating apps, I understand 100% what you're talking about, and I like the idea, the thought of like, I don't know, people might be getting into a thought pattern of like, this app is the thing that is going to help me meet the person I am. Like,
Okay,
what if you just looked at it as like, this is a tool that's going to help me refine my skills so
it's a
that when I
tool.
meet the person I'm supposed to be with,
That's it.
I have everything I need, right? So like,
That's it.
work on getting rejection, work on like sitting across from someone that like things aren't great and like your stories are coming up, right? Like work on all this. So it's just a tool, right?
Yes,
Like
I like that.
I think though one of the things that happens in these dating apps is like, so you match with somebody, right? And then you start a conversation. If that person is real and they're not a bot, right? Or
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
they decide that they want to engage in conversation with you, you start having conversations and forming a connection before you meet, right? And I think I think our brains are wired for connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm.
as you're having that texting communication with them, you're approaching that from the idea of, some people might be approaching it from the idea of, let's try and make this connection work. So if we're just if we're just like, I don't know what's going to happen, like you want to get to the point where you're going to meet them in person so your technology can make the decision,
Yeah.
right? So on the way there, how do you step back and pause and intentionally think about the kind of communication you're going to have with this person that's not intentionally trying to create connection because your brains are wired to create connection.
Mm. Well, I mean, what do you think? What comes to mind for you?
I don't know. One of the things I really like to do is like if you match with someone, you have to share a few messages back and forth. So some of the apps have like a FaceTime thing where you get video with somebody or
Okay.
call them, do a voice thing,
Yeah.
or you just offer your number. I don't like I always say like if you feel comfortable, right? Because you just want to like
Yeah.
that could be a vulnerable thing for people sharing their phone numbers.
Totally. Totally.
Uh, but if you can get a voice connection,
Yeah.
that'll tell you a lot, right? Because if I see somebody in the grocery store or
Yeah.
at a restaurant that I want to talk to, that I would just like to say hi to, that I'm attracted to, like I have a clean slate. The first thing that comes out of my mouth is going to be in person, in real
Yeah.
time,
Right.
and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is going to be in person, in real time. It's not like I saw them in a grocery store and like we're walking through the aisles on our carts, like texting a couple messages back and forth to each
Yeah.
other. And then we're like, okay, like let's meet in aisle 7 now that I know a little bit more about you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how do you keep that like, and I think that's what
Oh
maybe
God.
creates some of that like preconceived expectations, right? So I don't know how you keep the communication. I don't even know that intentional was the word I was going to use, but I don't even know if it's intentional. Like, how do you keep the communication so that you're just like, hey, I'm in it to see if we should hang out, like, but I'm not trying to create connection yet because I want in person to be the judge of that,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's almost like you have to say, like, listen, like, I don't really want to talk too much.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to meet and see if there's a connection here, like, let's meet,
That makes sense.
right?
I mean, you're getting to the actual thing. It seems like what most people are afraid of these days is just actually connecting with a human. They're like, it's everything but that. They're like, okay, here's the thing. Oh, and
Right.
I just see it. Um, I don't think there's anything wrong with connecting in person. With and seeing like, okay, we like each other's pictures, great. Let's go see if there's something real here. Go connect to that. But I think, like you said, maybe that feels a little vulnerable, or I don't know. Maybe it
I
feels.
almost feel like it feel less vulnerable, right? Because
That's my thinking.
like maybe I just don't even like sounds horrible. Maybe maybe makes me sound like a horrible human. Like maybe I should just look at pictures and not read anything anyone wrote. And if I match with someone, be like, listen, like I just the way that I'm approaching this is I don't want to have any preconceived notions. I have not read
Hey,
your profile. Like if you would like to meet, we can
well,
meet,
that's like meeting someone in person
right? Right.
because you don't get to read it. You just see a
And the
person.
tool is just helping you, right? If you look at it from that way, then the app is really just a tool that's putting people in front of you that then you can decide to go meet in person,
Dude,
right?
I think we're onto something here. Because if you can get to that person thing, which requires the vulnerability, it's online. Don't worry, we got skills for that. Like, this is where all the
And
men.
well, I'll say this: like the apps are good. Like I'm not a proponent of the app just takes everyone that's on the app and just shows them to you, right?
Yeah,
Like they will filter out. Like you can put filters how far away they live, like their
yeah,
age, the kinds of things that they're interested in, right? So like you already know that there's like a little something that you
something
have in
there.
common,
Yeah,
um, but I do think like now thinking about it, I do think there's a real value in like maybe I just like erase everything I wrote and like just put this thing out there that says like I believe in real connection, and
dude.
if you feel like I'm somebody that you'd like to get to know, let's get to know each other in person.
I think that's romantic. I think that brings back the thing that everyone's trying to connect with a human.
And I
Well,
want to be with someone that like sees that and is like, yes.
there you go.
So maybe it just weeds out
Go,
everybody
go
that I
do
want to
that.
be with anyways.
See, now you know what to do. Now you know exactly how to put
Yeah.
yourself out there and what you're actually looking for. And then when you go get together with someone in person, right? You open your heart and say it's not a fit. Great. We tried. And it's not it didn't work. It's like, well, we're probably both closer to the one it is going to work with.
And what if on the back end, right?
Huh.
Say on the app, and I don't know, maybe you can do this. I've never seen it, but say on the app, right? You go out with somebody, then you come back to the app, and you do this little like feedback form. They never see it,
Oh,
right? Like they never see it,
bingo.
but you give the information to the app of like, this is this is how the date went. This is how comfortable I felt. Like this is how vulnerable I was. This is how
Mm.
vulnerable they were. Right? You just have this little questionnaire that you fill out after
Oh.
the app, and so it takes everybody's on the back end. Then it would take everybody's feedback from other people, and it would take your feedback for yourself, and then you'd have an algorithm that would kind of like
Damn.
create this post date interaction feedback form for everybody that's on the app, and they would use that then to put people in front of you that somehow matched in
Damn.
that way,
It almost feels like now we're getting the real. Now we're getting real, and
right?
we all do our best. But when we describe ourselves, we're like an agent describing ourselves. I'm perfect, or how and then you go on dates, and there you get some real perspective of like, hey, is this person available?
Well, even like, yeah, right, like you would say, like, did it feel like they were
Were they
available?
present?
Were
Were
they
they
present?
present?
Were they doing this? And like, it doesn't mean that like you go out with someone, like say I go out with someone and they're like, he was an asshole, and like, this and that. It doesn't mean that like I'm just gonna get ranked on the app as an asshole,
Yeah,
because the app is gonna, like, if 15 people say that, I'm probably
sure.
an asshole.
Yeah,
But if one person says that, right, like,
yeah, yeah.
it's also gonna read all of their feedback towards other people, and if they have constant negative things to say about somebody, the app is just going to factor that into the type of personality they have, and then match them with someone who
Dude, if being available,
can handle that.
being emotionally available, being honest about height or different, just being authentic, and then don't be cheating on who you're, don't, because you're in a fight with you. Like if those are the main things, if what if on the back end, like you go on a date and you're like, okay, we're not the right fit for each other. But say like we were on a date, we're not the right fit for each other, but I'm like, man, Joey's totally fucking available. Shit. He was totally authentic. Said he was what Heidi was, totally was that. It might have been even a little taller than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
dude's a winner. Dude's a winner, ladies or fellas. Not for me. Dude's a winner though, and he's emotionally available. Totally, like that. Then now we're getting feedback from people who are like, now we're helping each other. I think
Are we creating the making space for love dating app
it
right
might,
now?
dude, because the key, you got to be in person. Without that, like, this is like, oh, I have a million people online who I'm connected to. I'm like, I doubt you're connected to one of them. Like an actual human connection that serves, like oxytocin is being released, like deep connection, not the flighty shit that you never get fulfilled. Like I connected with 30 people today. I'm like, that's not the depth. But I really like where you're at, what came to you. See if I'm physically attracted to you, right? Of course, you got to have that. Now let's go meet and see if there's an energetic attraction and see if these things are here. Because what's the point of doing all this other stuff if this ain't really here? Because without this, does any of the other stuff matter?
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? You could make a bunch of money, lives near me, right age. I fucking hate being around them. Like it's not gonna work. Now you might connect with someone and be like, damn, you're different than age than I thought. You live farther away, all these things, but it's
But
actually
it's
here.
right.
So this is actually the one. And
That's,
then
that's another thing I've noticed on like going out on dates with people is, and so also I want to say this. I have always, I'm at a point right now in my life where I'm dating to date,
yeah.
right? To have the experience of going out and meeting new people. When before I would meet somebody and be like, gotta make this work,
Mm.
right? And then you just start, like, now I'm like, it's so freeing because I'm like, oh, like it doesn't have to work out, right? Like I can
What if
meet,
instead of dating we called it discovering? So you weren't trying to get something, you're just
just
discovering what's here. And so now we're not trying to, like, because when I hear dating, like it's like I'm trying to like
a
get this thing
discovery
to fit
app.
in I'm just discovering.
It's so good.
A beautiful discovery. Start with myself, then maybe discover you. And if we do have a good connect, hey, maybe we explore the discovery without stories that we
Love that.
preconceived on, like, by this date I got to have this done, and then let's explore let's let it
The
unfold.
Explorer dating
You
app.
know, the Explorer.
Like the
I've
Explorer, we
discovered
just don't even
something.
call it a dating app.
Let's
It is
explore it. Yeah, let's
the
explore.
Explorer app. So like
Sorry, I
I'm
didn't
in
mean to
this.
interrupt.
Oh, it's all good. So I'm in this spot where I'm just right now in my life where I'm dating to date. Like I'm just trying to meet people and like really just see like what kind of different people like are out there, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm like trying to go on dates with
Ooh.
people that I think I wouldn't have anything in common with, or that like I was in a relationship with somebody in the last few years where like on paper never would have picked them
Okay.
ever.
Okay.
Nothing negative, but
Yeah.
just not what I normally have been
Yeah.
into. And when we meet in person, I'm like, wow, like you just look at the world a completely different way, but you are so loving and all this. It would like it didn't work out, but like it was a really good experience for me to experience somebody like that. And that really opened my eyes to where I'm at now and be like, let's just get up, put yourself out there, like try new things because
Yeah.
what you don't see on the other end of those dating apps is someone could say some things but you don't know what their life experience is, right? You don't know really how they love.
Yeah. Right.
You don't know really how they interact with
Yeah.
people. But back to the idea of this app, right? If I just put on my profile and other people try to do this, start doing this, hey, I value connection. I'm not going to read anything on your profile. I want a blank slate, just like we met each other when we were out in person. I'm just using this app as, getting like see who's out there.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things that puts even more pressure on people when they meet through an app is like, then you plan a date,
Oh,
right? You
yeah.
plan a date. And so maybe you go to dinner, or maybe you go to see live music, or maybe you go for a hike, or whatever you do. Like there's a intentional plan that puts the two of you together, and it's usually just the two of you,
Mm.
right? So if you're out at a restaurant, you're out at a bar, whatever, like maybe in the grocery store, it's just you. When you're out, like you're with your friends, and that's like a little bit more of an emotional safety net there,
Sure.
right? Because you
Totally.
like if you're not into it, you're just like, oh, like we're gonna head out to this other spot, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever. Or you just go back to being your friends, or you like talk to them for a little bit. Can I get your number? Okay, like
Sure.
you know, you're out with your friends, I'm out my friends. We don't have to hang out for the rest of the night, but I'm interested. I'm gonna call you,
Mm.
right? So then, what if we take this to another level? Is like you don't then plan something individual,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's figure out like when are you going out with your friends next, or going to do something with a group of people that and I will do something like we will
Sure.
meet up within more of a group setting, and that just takes off so much more of the
Sure.
pressure then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
creates more of a real life, I'm going to meet you in person
It
situation.
sounds like how you make friends.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm talking to this person. You seem really cool. Like we have some things in
Got
common.
this
Would you
thing
like?
going on. You want to come hang out?
Yeah. Would
Like
you like
you
to
want to
hang
go to
out
this
again?
one thing by me, just me and you, start our friendship with this intense, like, hey.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine that? Like meeting someone in the grocery store and then being like, "Hey, you're really cool to hang out with. Like, do you want to like hang out? Do you want to come over to my house and sit down and watch a movie with
No,
me?"
that's terrified. But if
What
you
the
see if
fuck?
you see a picture, so you're like, okay, there's an attraction, cool. Then treat it like a friendship. Treat it right. Treat it like how would you approach this? Not this intense, all on the line for this thing where I have all these stories of outcomes I'm trying to get. A friend, you're just like, hey, this got a cool vibe. We're gonna go kick it here and do this thing, and you go check it out. So now we're really just discovering the foundation is friendship. I already know I'm attracted to you, so it's there. Now let's go check it out without this monumental singular pressure of like this thing has to happen, or I
Yeah.
man, I feel you on that. I keep thinking of the word discovery. Like if you already know an outcome, you can't make a fun discovery, right? So stay in this place of like, I don't know, I like the way you look, let's go hang out in a social situation. This is the big one. Constantly eliminating the stories that are going to try to that come up if you're trying to calculate how it all works. You just got to really work on your skills and observe in that moment. Be like, I see the stories. I'm just going to be curious about about what this is. Let's go see. Let's check it
That's
out.
amazing. Like I really like where this conversation is going because it is putting the idea of like dating apps for me and how to use them in a completely different light that I think we'll see. I
Give it a
think
try.
could be much more valuable and eliminate so much more stress.
Dude, it's go check it out. Go explore. Be open minded to it. Check it out. But I really think like how we meet friends is totally different than how we get in relationships. We put this crazy pressure on a resultant outcome, and I think the acceptance piece of like instead of doing that, like let's just see if we actually have if there's a connect, and just constantly coming back to the present before you're tracking these stories of like the next 12 years. You're like, how about just the next 12 breaths? We just like we're here, we're tuned, and then this is where walk to win comes in, right? Where you're not just rushing to this thing, and just be there, be in a space of discovery, and see if you can hold that space. One, that sounds like more fun,
Way more
and
fun.
then and you're setting this like you're making space for connection. Should it want to be there, without putting pressure on this other person? Like, is it you? Are you like that's too much, man? Because if in the first 10 minutes you're like it's not you, like then what do we? I don't know. Like you were saying, it's like it's too much. So
And I've met people like on dating apps that are like, "Hey, I'm going out with my friends to such and such on this day. Like, would you want to meet up with us?" And I'm always like, I'm game, but I could see some people feeling disappointed in those moments where it's like, oh, they don't just want to like meet just me. And it's like, she's saving you. They are saving you. He's saving you,
yeah.
right? Like, just go be in that social situation and learn about each other. And even
Boom.
better, if they're around people that know them,
I'm telling you, that's how you really
like you'll
learn.
see even more
You'll
stuff
see
come
it
out. Like,
all. This just makes sense to me.
oh, we need to like drive down to Silicon Valley like right after we finish this and like find some venture capital firm. Be like, we have an idea.
Let's call it discovery. We're exploring. We're exploring and we're doing discovery. And it's interesting to say it like that, though. I do think like I've done this mental performance work in sports and business where like everyone's just tripping off outcomes. Like, got to make this money or got to win this game. And if you think about in terms of relationships, I got to get married. I'm like, anyone who's like, I got to make this money or win the game, we already know that ain't it. We're like, nah, that's not. I understand the intention, but that's not how you actually perform this to let it work. Like, no problem having intention. Like, hey, I'd like to be in a great relationship. Awesome. Now you don't go about that going, are you the one? Like, this is it. If, it's like, go get in discovery mode and let's get good at getting rejected. And not rejected, it's just more like knowing, oh, this isn't it. That's okay. Put yourself in that space and start to listen to yourself on a deep, don't override it. Tune in and get good at that. Get good at knowing this isn't the one.
Well, I think there's a like right like you when you talk in the world of sports, you don't like to use the word failure. You
Yeah.
say it's greatness, right?
Yeah,
Because you
right.
use that theme of like a baby falling and getting up and learning to crawl and then walking
Yes.
and then running, right? Like
Yes.
we don't yell at babies when
No.
they're learning to walk. So
No.
why would we yell internally at ourselves if a relationship doesn't work out after the first date, right?
Yeah, that's insanity.
Like
Like, come
that's
on.
nuts. One of the things that I've I've been way better at is going into things thinking this doesn't have to work and like
Damn.
just going into it and like just offering being available,
Wow.
offering me, right? Here I am, and then just kind of like being okay with walking away and be like, all right, I guess we'll see what happens. Like if they text me back, they text me
There you
back. If they
go.
don't, like I'm not gonna sit and like stare at the phone. Like not that I did that before, but that whole
Of
thing of like,
course.
are they gonna call me? Like all this stuff. And um what you just described when you're talking about people who think that they let's get money, let's win all these things, do all this stuff in this scenario, approaching dating apps from a point of discovery, right?
Ooh.
So now we are taking one of your skills and we're actually using tap,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So trust yourself, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
um accept the things you can't control, right?
Booyah.
If they're not going to look like themselves, or like you There's nothing you can do about it, so you just got to have acceptance over that, and then be present.
Boom.
Discover present, right? Like,
And it's funny, like in high level sales, you're not trying to convince someone to buy something. You're simply doing a lot of discovery, seeing if you can actually, if you're a good solution or a good fit for them. And it may not be. And if not, it's no problem at all. But you go about that through listening, through exploring, not trying to convince someone, I got this thing, I'm the person to marry, or we got to connect. You're more like, let's see if this is the right fit. And if not, it's totally actually okay.
yeah,
So see how we've accepted the outcome? We're not putting pressure on an outcome. And then get into discovery. I mean, truly, what do we have in life if we're not curious about something or wondering how it, there's no mystery involved. And I think with mystery comes romance. So now we're getting back to the romance. One thing I see about maybe the apps and all the calculated shit tends to kill all the romance because it seems like it's so calculated and so driven. So I never have to feel. And if you never
right.
have to feel, we've eliminated
So it's
perhaps.
like this is supposed to be this way. So like if it's not, like it's almost like a letdown.
What if we did like I'm just thinking of us. What if we made a little dating app and just like we discovered here, you just put a photo up. No one's allowed to write. You can't write. And maybe with a photo you can have one
I think you like I
audio,
do value
a little bit of writing.
of I think a little bit of like maybe not even writing, but you just a checklist of like
A couple
you get
things.
to pick like 5 interests that you
Okay.
have.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
yeah.
just see kind of the interest. You get to see how far away from they live. But sorry,
No,
go ahead
I've
with
noticed
the
too, but
audio or
like
the video.
you might have the same interest, but if you don't have an energetic connection, it doesn't matter. You might have different interests, but if you feel connected, all of a sudden it doesn't matter that you have different interests. I'm the only one who likes sports in my
Oh,
house.
you're right.
I'm the only one
Okay.
who likes sports. My wife, my kids, they're often like, how do you like it so much? They're into performing arts and dance and all this stuff. We get along great. And it's like weird where she's not a basketball head who's like, I'm like, I am. I'm a junkie for it. But it was like, so we don't actually, you don't actually have to have that
Okay.
commonalities
So
like
maybe
that.
that doesn't matter as much. Maybe just like the distance of where you live. And then I do agree with you on like the either the voice or the
Some,
video. Like let
what's the
somebody
connection
feel you
piece?
a little
Yeah.
bit. I've always
Let
thought
them
like
feel you.
right.
Let them feel you.
Yeah.
Because that's a little vulnerable. Let them feel
Yeah.
you a little bit.
Let
Let
them
them
feel you a
feel a
little bit.
part of you that's beyond kind of the story you want to present of like, here's me. I like to hike and everything. Yeah, it's like, let them feel you a
So
little
what are
bit.
those prompts? Right. So how like
If you
say we're
really,
making this
if
app.
you really knew me, you would know that dot dot dot, and you finish that sentence, just like that. If
Oh,
you really
if
knew
you
me,
really knew me
you would know that, and then you finish that, and you can take that to, hey, I love eating
anywhere.
burritos, or you can take it
So
to,
like
I've been
something
working on
deeper.
myself, went through some stuff when I was young. I'm really working on being available and emotionally connected here. If you really knew me, that's what matters in my life,
Oh my
being available. Not, I like this type of music, and I want to go watch the sunset at.
God. Yo, like this is where I'm serious. Like where I feel like we're onto something here.
If you really knew me, you would know
You
that.
would know
What if you
that.
just saw a picture
Just
that some sort of audio clip so you could feel them? I mean, because how do you feel someone online? Like if there's a video or an audio you can't, that's the kinesthetic thing you can get.
yeah.
So maybe just that there, but less writing. Maybe just that one prompt. If you really knew me, you would know that. I'm trying to get the
No,
fuck off.
like I think that it has to be a voice thing or a video thing because the way that somebody just like the way that somebody answers that
Yep.
question, just how their voice is, like,
Come on.
are they relaxed? Are they like you can tell
That'll
so much
that
from
if
that
you have a
one
photo and
answer.
that prompt, if you really knew me, you would know that there's an opportunity for a connection in that moment. When I've done this work, if you really knew me, you would know that when I do it with groups or teams or couples, it's their favorite piece because you get them to face each other and you say, cool, here's how this works. Face each other, finish the sentence. And if you get a group of 10 doing it together, if you get a group of two, the intimacy is so profound that it can open up so much because here we are. We're not like I'm not knocking sunsets and stuff, but like I think all of us like sunsets, man. You know what I mean? Like I think everyone likes a little nice nature. I like good food, good music. Everyone does. But like if you
Like
really knew
saying
me, you would
something
know
that's
that, since I was a young child, my parents got divorced, and this is all I've cared about, Joey, is I wanted to learn how to be in a relationship. So if you really knew me, it's way beyond you think Graham's all into winning basketball championships. I'm like, yeah, that's superficial shit. If you really knew me, this is what this is it. This is it.
That's what like. I think you'd have to coach some people on how to answer that question because one of the one of the ideas that I like
But
about
that would, I don't mean, but that would help you. Say your profile, hey, nice pic. If you really knew me, you would know that I never want to talk about this stuff. You'd be like, oh, this may not be the person for me.
right.
So they were being real. Perfect. If someone's like really knew me, you would know that, and
Oh,
it
I
touched
guess you're
something in
right. So
you.
instead of coaching them, you just let
Let them be
them,
who they are.
and that like
They're-
in the description of this is how this works. Say like the deeper you are, the more someone's gonna
You'll
feel
attract
you
someone on that
or
level with you.
whatever.
Attract whoever
Maybe
you
I don't even
want.
say that because
Whoever, no,
there's
just
probably people out
attract
there that
whatever
are
you
gonna try
want.
and do that to seem deeper.
Whatever you put out there, it'll either click with someone or not. And if it clicks with them, they go, hey, let's go check it out. Let's do this in person social thing. And we could even set
It's
up
like here
social
I
things
am,
for
like
people.
just still like we're talking about this. I'm still trying to control the variable in which, like, it's just like let's give everyone the freedom to say or do whatever you want. I'm like, but what if we just coach them a little? What if like I don't know, like I'm like,
Just
fuck it,
let it
like
be.
let it go, like fucking let it go.
This is that finishing that sentence is a great prompt, a picture,
All right, so
and
my
then
dating profiles are now just gonna be a couple photos, and if you really knew me, you would know that blah blah blah, and then I haven't read it. I will not read your profile. I want to meet in person because I value connection. Something along those lines. It might not work.
and then and just it's this isn't meant for everyone, meaning like a bunch of people may not like that, but are you looking for a bunch of people? No.
No.
And it's so funny with this type of stuff, you're literally looking to go one time it works, right? And that's your partner, or
Yeah.
maybe two. In life, this isn't like 100. It's like that's not how this works. Like this is so. The majority of this is it's gonna not work, but it is working. So
Right.
it's
You'll
not.
get less likes. You'll get less
Yeah, and that's what
stuff.
you're
Or
getting
maybe you
closer.
won't.
You're
Maybe
getting
people will
close.
read that shit and be like,
I told this to my wife, and she was like, "Self awareness is sexy, man. If you start to be aware of this type of stuff," my wife was doing some funny shit, playing around with me of like what this does to people if you're tuned into it, and yeah, no, I think there's really something to this. So I think it's like I basically like I don't date, I discover. It's totally different. Like I wouldn't go on a date. And this might sound really funny. I knew this as a 19 or 20-year old. I met my wife and I went to high school together, didn't know each other. So that just shows you don't even know it could be right around you and you're not ready for it. My partner for life was around me for years, never
I'm like,
even knew her at all. Met her later on in life, and we had like a connection, and it started like a friendship, and we just slow walked it, and we dated other people, and did other things, and eventually we're meant to be. And when we first connected, she remembers being like, "You told me I don't go on dates. Like I don't date. I'm not just like hey like." And I realized what I was doing. It was always just discovery. It was like I'm more like I want to get to know someone. I've never met a friend by forcing like a date or something. It's more of an organic thing. So I didn't even like the word dating because I thought it put pressure on an outcome of like, oh,
mm-hmm.
are you gonna be a girlfriend? And if you're a girlfriend, then is it why? Like, like, what about if you're just discovering and just connecting? And that would bring me back to the present. So I'd be more present. I would be here instead of like, hey, where's this going? What? It's like I'm more here and I'm just tuned in. And of course, that's where life is so much richer. And there's an actual connection piece. And so, for me, I think discovery and exploration and coming from a curious mind, not a closed off, trying to control something so someone fits into your closed off reality. And they're just like, you're not even available for them. I think there might be something here, man.
That like curiosity to me is a very like that's one of my green flags, right? Like
Okay.
if someone's curious, if they come from a place of curiosity, like that is big for me. And I went on a couple dates with somebody in the last few weeks. They were very nice, like super cool, like great connection. But she had this preconceived thing of like how she was, how she wanted to experience whoever she was going to date next, right?
Okay.
And it was in terms of like, I want them to live like this close to me. Like,
Yeah.
I want them to be like at this part of life that I'm into. And she want to have all these things like align,
Yeah.
right? And I've always said, like, you hear people say all the time, oh, like I'm just not in the, you know, it's just not the right time for me to meet somebody or this and that. And like I've always felt like when is the right? You're never gonna have all of your shit together
That's a defense
ever,
mechanism.
right? You're never gonna have it all together. Like I want to meet somebody where we're in totally different parts of life and look at each other and say, like, listen, like on paper this doesn't match at all, but like I'm down to fucking figure this out
That's it.
because I feel that connected to you. And like
Boom.
it's not gonna be perfect all the time. It's not gonna be perfect maybe even right off the bat, but like
So you got it.
I value enough to see where this is gonna go. And like if we can make this work when the pieces aren't fitting together perfectly, we can make changes in our lives to create the timing and the space
Dude, you're
for it
on
to
it.
come together. And if we can make it work when it's not the right timing, imagine how cool it's going to be when you get to the point where you're like, listen, like we made space for each other. Like it's time to just do this, right? Like to really just find someone who's just down to be invested in the person and not the timing or the, you know, whatever.
I think you're spot on it, man. I think the first of all, there is nothing convenient about greatness, and there's nothing convenient about any of this. This is real life energy and connection with people. It's not like let's do that Tuesday at 5. It doesn't work like that. Shit happens in real time. What if the only thing that mattered was an energetic connection together and can you dance together? What if those were the things that actually matter? And then the other stuff turns out, those other things, that stuff's on paper what you think matters. Turns out in reality, in real life, it's not really that big a deal. Or else I think the paper stuff would work a lot more, right? You would just see like,
Yeah.
I got an A, both of our papers have got an A. Mm-mm. That there's a whole thing here that requires you to be open to another human being. And this is the part where I think people are like anything but that because and this is we have to reframe it like this isn't failure. This is the actual process of greatness. Like this is the and I think like there is. I'm telling you, there's nothing convenient about any of this shit. So you don't get to schedule this. That's not how this works. It's not how that works. I mean, you can try it. Tell me how that works. Let me know how scheduling love goes for you or scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that is not predictable, and
Just
you
like
know,
you're in a place, your heart says, go talk to her. That wasn't scheduled, was it? That wasn't you getting on an app going, now I'm going to do my hour on this. That was you going, this is shit just here in real time. What do I do with it? I don't know. Are you present? Maybe follow it. If you're present and tuned in, trusting, let's go discover what this is. Curious and courageous is really what confidence is. Curiosity and being courageous, that's confidence. Confidence is not I feel amazing, then I go do something. That's fragile by definition because you're not going to do it when you don't feel comfortable. That's not confidence. Real confidence is I have the clarity what to do. I'm courageous. I'm going to go fucking do it. How do I feel? Probably really vulnerable. But that's not confidence can't be I feel amazing, then I do it. Confidence has to be I'm more of an explorer. I'm more curious. Let's go see what happens.
oh,
Let's go check it out. That's confidence. Turns out it doesn't feel like what we thought it feels like. It feels uncomfortable. Yet that's the actual confident. That's the thing. If it's I feel amazing, then go do it. You're not going to feel amazing all the time. It's not going to be fucking convenient. Shit's going to feel really uncomfortable. Hey, look, if we've gone through the last couple months, fucking gut wrenching shit, dude. Facing what feels like death and like, So the exploration and discovery give you a framework to go into this curious, like a little child learning to walk. They're going to go fall and they're going to go be like, how do my legs work? Oh, shit, it didn't work doing that. And then they're like, no, oh, there's the muscles forming. And they're going to figure it out. Hey, how does connecting with another human work? Let's go discover and check it out. Let's go
it's like
fall.
giving you permission for it to not work,
And then it is working. So
right?
it's just reframing. That is the working. If a little baby goes, hey, I'm refusing to fall, are are they working the steps to learning how to walk and run? Fuck no. No, they've avoided the whole thing. If a little baby's like, I'm gonna go fall a bunch today. Well, you are doing fantastic, little baby. You might be Usain Bolt. Like you might be the greatest sprinter of all time because you're gonna go through this experience.
So the things that I'm taking away from today are
Yeah.
let's reframe a dating app as a discovery app
Yes. Can
Let's,
I throw something in there? So instead
yeah,
of like I'm trying to get something from this person, like get the right relationship, right location, I'm here just to get to know someone
just,
and discover. I have no expectation.
yeah. So throw, like, use it as discovery with no expectations. See it as a tool, right? Not as the final end all be all. This is the thing that's going to
Yeah.
match me with my person.
Yeah.
But this is the tool through which I'm going to discover what is out there and what feels good to me, right?
Bingo.
And then if you're on a dating app, maybe try it for a week, right?
Give it a
There's no
shot.
harm in that. You can always, like you said, you can always go back to what you were doing before, but maybe do a, like, take everything off and say, I value connection. I'm not going to read anything on your profile. I am just like, I would like to meet in person and see how that
Be
goes.
present.
And what was the prompt that you use? If you really knew me,
If you really knew me, you would know that dot dot dot. Finish that sentence.
and maybe if your app has the capability to do a little video thing, you do it over video.
Money. I think we're off to a good start here. I think this is really, and this will lead us to, maybe this is our little tease for the next show. So now we're dating from a good space, right? We've opened our heart, we've made space for love. We know we're not even dating, we're discovering, we're exploring. Like a little child, you're going to learn to run. You're going to do it. And a couple of nice dates come your way, right? And you're going to be like, holy shit, they're coming my way. And this is where I learned this one. There's a tempting to just completely squash it when it actually starts to show up. And we like to say, don't eat the bunny.
That's my favorite saying.
Don't eat
I
the bunny.
cannot.
Don't eat the bunny.
We should absolutely do a show on that next time.
I think that's the
I
next one because if
love
you're
Don't
doing
Eat the
this,
Bunny.
these wonderful beings are going to come around you who you may not have ever known you're actually attracted to them. And they're going to be hello. And it's going to pull out a part of you that's so attracted that what I've noticed is a human part that goes, I don't want to lose that shit. And if we grab the bunny and eat it, we've already lost it. So when they start to come around, then we're really working on breathing, choosing our response. So I think that's like what we'll start taking people is, as you're doing this, you're going to attract what you're attracted to. Your primal response is going to be to put that shit in your pocket and make sure no one else
It's almost
gets.
like, this is mine. I can't lose it. I've been looking for this for so
There's
long.
little you again, little frightened child trying to possess something. Can't do that. We'll work through that, right? We will allow it to kind of have its space. So then it might want to hang around.
Just let the bunny hop around. You want to hop away, hop away. You want to come back, and maybe eventually it'll sit in your lap.
And then you and the bunny can start to do some stuff together, some eye to eye stuff. You can start to like really kind of open up to each other. And then I think this is where we go into, hey, I'm starting to date. They're showing up. I'm not eating the bunny. How do I keep myself in a relationship? How do I not totally just lose myself in a relationship, right? Like I found the right one. It's a good fit. I'm letting them be them. They love being around. I love it. And I just want to dissolve into this and lose myself in it. How do we kind of stand up with our own 2 feet so we can be with someone else? We'll go
My
through
term
that
for
whole
that is relationship grilled cheese, right? We're like, you're both the cheese in the relationship sandwich, and you melt together, and you can't tell which was which to begin with.
yeah.
I
You got to
love
have
it.
your own space.
I love it. This is where we're going. I love the direction we're going. So, thank you again. Keep sending us questions.
Yeah.
We love all the support, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.